You gotta be able to take abuse. You gotta be able to have people talk crazy about you.
Throughout Hollywood history, many celebrity couples have made concerted efforts to preserve their sanity and uphold their public image. Nevertheless, there are instances where certain couples have inadvertently tarnished their own reputations, and one of the most notable examples is the high-profile duo of Jada and Will.
I was very depressed, and he had to go to Japan, Will did. I was on the set. I got 100 dozen roses.
One of the current world-dominating celebrities is undoubtedly Will Smith. However, many feel that in his personal life, his wife Jada holds significant influence, and her actions have occasionally put him in awkward situations.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
Making headlines for their relationship dynamics.
That was a huge regret of mine. I couldn't handle it, you know? I was the soft rapper from Philly and he was Pac.
Observers have noted that Jada has frequently chosen to discuss her prior relationships, whether they were physical or not, which has led to moments of discomfort for Will and placed their relationship in the spotlight.
I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
It appears that Jada's relationship with Will is not only strained during interviews and public appearances, but also in their overall interactions, suggesting a less than pleasant dynamic between them.
I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Cause she don't just...
One aspect that has caught people's attention in Jada and Will's relationship is Jada's enduring connection to Tupac. Despite being married to Will for many years, Jada has never let go of her bond with Tupac. While it's clear that Jada and Tupac were close friends, her expressions and sentiments towards Tupac appear to be remarkably different when compared to how she discusses her husband Will.
A lot of people, talk about my relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, and that was a huge loss in my life. Absolutely.
This dynamic has led some to wonder if Jada's heart still holds a deep connection to Tupac, almost as if she were married to him throughout these years, causing Will to constantly contend with the presence of this emotionally. What remains a perplexing question for many is why Jada firmly believes that there is no one quite like Tupac. She defined her relationship as, quote, "It was about survival, and it's always been about survival between us, and holding each other down in ways that he and I could hold each other down." Prior to her marriage to Will, then known as the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the actress shared an exceptionally close friendship with the legendary rapper Tupac Shakur, who is remembered fondly despite his passing. Their connection was distinctively unique. It wasn't romantic in nature, but it ran deep and held significant meaning. Makara magazine reported that Tupac remained fiercely protective of Jada, consistently keeping a watchful eye on the men she dated. He believed that any man who threatened his friendship with her could potentially pose a problem.
He was like a magnet. It was like once you paid attention to him, he kind of sucked you in. And we hit it off.
Tragically, by the time Jada married Will, Tupac had already succumbed to a different kind of lifestyle. A lifestyle that also claimed the life of another renowned rapper, the Notorious B.I.G. Both of them met their untimely ends during the brutal East Coast versus West Coast feud. While we sympathize with Jada for the loss of her dear friend, some observers can't help but wonder if her frequent references to Tupac's name are driven more by a desire for attention and notoriety than a genuine expression of remorse over losing a friend. She said, "I felt sadness for not having the opportunity to tell him I love him. I know he knew that. It wasn't the first time that we had had a bad argument and had stopped speaking. That was kind of a constant in our relationship." Many find it perplexing why Jada consistently seems to prioritize her late friend over her living husband. Others consider it a touching form of memorializing a legend. This pattern of behavior strikes people as highly unusual and has reportedly brought Jada and Will's marriage to the brink of divorce on multiple occasions. Despite being married for nearly 25 years, their relationship has been marked by a series of unexpected challenges and situations that have tested their bond.
That was a huge regret of mine. I couldn't handle it, you know? I was the soft rapper from Philly and he was Pac.
One of the most widely known incidents in Jada and Will's marriage is Jada's involvement with the singer August Alsina. Jada confirmed that this relationship occurred during a period when she and Will were separated, shedding light on a particularly public and scrutinized chapter in their marriage. She said, "This is a very personal journey that became very public for whatever reason. She further shared that what initially began as a friendship and a collective family effort to assist August Alsina with his health around 4 years ago eventually evolved into what she described as a different kind of entanglement. This transformation in their relationship occurred during a period when both she and Will believed their marriage was coming to an end. Even one internet user wrote, "I can't stand Jada. Will is a good, kind-hearted man. You can see he has a lot of love in her. He doesn't deserve getting ridiculed like that by his wife. Screw her. He deserves better." This revelation not only strained her marriage, but also pushed it to its lowest point. However, despite the challenges, some fans continued to support Jada during this tumultuous period. One fan's sentiment could be summed up as follows: marriage is a commitment. It's not going off and having affairs when you feel like it. There is no point getting married if that is the lifestyle you want to follow. A significant majority of fans, on the other hand, rallied behind Will and expressed their sympathy for him, especially considering the visible pain he exhibited during the interviews that followed the revelation. One fan's comment encapsulated this sentiment. "He did everything a man should do for his wife, but got nothing back, not even loyalty. I would have straight up ditched her the instant I knew about her cheating. But he not only accepted her, but also slapped Chris Rock just because his wife didn't like it. Truly a man of honor." It appears that Jada is determined to share her perspective on her life, including her relationship with Will and Tupac, as she is reportedly in the process of writing an entire book on the subject. According to the Associated Press, this untitled memoir, set to be released in 2023, will delve into the lessons she has learned throughout a challenging yet captivating journey. This forthcoming book is expected to not only explore her marriage with Will, but also places significant emphasis on her deep affection for Tupac. The anticipation of Tupac's presence in her book is growing among the public, fueled by Jada's frequent mentions of him in the past. According to a recent press release, Jada's forthcoming memoir promises to be a candid and unfiltered account of her unconventional upbringing in Baltimore, her complex marriage to Will Smith, and her simultaneous journey to fame alongside Tupac.
And Will, your partner, your life partner.
My life partner.
Yeah. He likes a good adventure, yeah?
Yes.
Actually, it appears that she takes pleasure in discussing the difficulties in her marriage on national television and occasionally makes subtle criticisms of Will by drawing comparisons to Tupac. To provide some context, her discussions about Will are notably different from how she talks about Tupac.
The type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so...
Several insiders who were privy to Jada Pinkett's relationship with Tupac also affirmed that Tupac regarded Jada purely as a friend or a sisterly figure. Despite this, when you hear Jada discuss Tupac, some feel as though it often appears as though she is attempting to portray their connection as a beautiful romance straight out of a Disney movie.
He would tell me all the time, "Jada, you're gonna be a star."
What adds a sadder note to this situation is that even their children became entangled in the ongoing comparison between Will and Tupac. At just 11 years old, Willow wrote a heartfelt letter to Tupac, earnestly asking for his return to make her mother happy. In the letter, Willow wrote, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." It's crucial to highlight that young Willow had never actually met Tupac. Her decision to write a letter to him expressing her belief that his return would bring happiness to her mother underscores the lasting impact Tupac has had on their family dynamics. This suggests that Jada continues to discuss Tupac even in private conversations. Additionally, Jada has garnered further attention by penning a book that features 2 unexpected love stories, adding to the intrigue surrounding her personal life. However, one fan pointed out saying, "If I were Will Smith, I would have left her after watching that video. You can see she loves Tupac more than anything, and I don't think anyone can replace that until she heals herself and moves on from the loss." People claim to have never seen Jada making any effort for her loving husband. Instead, she allegedly never misses a chance to humiliate him, according to many at least. There is a noticeable dynamic where it appears that Jada exerts a significant level of influence over Will, and despite his initial efforts to establish boundaries, he eventually seems to yield. This observation has garnered public concern, even leading to reports of a Twitter campaign with the hashtag #SaveWillSmith, indicating that people are worried about his well-being and the dynamics of their relationship.
And we decided...
I was done with your
You kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though.
Will Smith has openly discussed some of the most challenging moments in his life, and this period mentioned is one of them. We all know Tupac was widely adored and had a remarkable ability to win people's hearts quickly. Given his close relationship with Jada, Will Smith reportedly felt a sense of insecurity. He harbored the belief that Tupac was superior to him, particularly since Tupac had been Jada's childhood love.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that dude.
This situation led Will into a deep depression, becoming a nightmare for him. His feelings of intense jealousy and resentment towards Tupac persisted, even though Tupac was no longer alive. It seemed that Jada never regarded Will as the true love of her life, further complicating their relationship dynamics.
And that was in the early days.
Yeah.
That was in the early days, and it was like, that was a big regret for me too, because I could never open up to him.
According to Will Smith, the heartbreak stemmed from his belief that Jada never loved him in the same way she loved Tupac, which was a painful realization for him. Tupac had been a significant presence in Jada's life since her childhood, but this didn't mean that Jada should disregard Will's feelings and opinions entirely. Quote, "In the beginning of our relationship, my mind was tortured by their connection," Will writes. "He was Pac, and I was me. Though they were never intimate, their love for each other is legendary. Tupac was like Harry. He triggered the perception of myself as a coward. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that." During this challenging period, Will was facing emotional turmoil and he felt isolated without anyone to confide in. He chose to keep his feelings to himself, not wanting to jeopardize his relationship with Jada. It was only recently during an interview that he decided to open up about the difficulties he had been experiencing and share his perspective on their relationship.
They loved each other, but they never had that, they never had a relationship, but they had come into that age where now that was a possibility.
This is just one incident where Will felt low. Reports suggest that Jada Pinkett Smith felt compelled to address her past affair during an episode of her Facebook show, Red Table Talk. In her confession, she revealed that she had been involved in a romantic relationship with August Alsina, a friend of her own son, Jaden Smith. Jada explained that August was going through a challenging period in his life and required both emotional and mental support at the time. August's interview shed further light on the nature of his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. He stated that they were indeed involved romantically and characterized their connection as a little complicated. According to August, Will Smith had given his approval or blessing for August to pursue a relationship with Jada. This has led to speculation about the possibility of an open marriage arrangement between Jada and Will.
But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission.
However, Jada has maintained that while she was married to Will, her relationship with August was strictly platonic, and she never entertained the idea of turning it into something more. Jada Pinkett Smith's public confession about her extramarital affair on a talk show created a significant scandal and garnered considerable attention. The emotional toll it took on Will Smith, who appeared on the verge of tears during the revelation, added to the intensity of the moment. It's important to note that honesty and communication are essential in any relationship, and admitting one's mistakes to a partner is a step towards rebuilding trust.
We were separated amicably, and I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker.
However, some argue that such deeply personal matters should remain private and not be discussed so publicly, as it can intensify the emotional impact on both individuals involved and potentially exacerbate the challenges they are already facing. Jada's actions had a profound impact on Will, pushing him to his emotional limits. Shedding tears on a live broadcast seemed to be the breaking point for him, as the anguish in his eyes was unmistakable. The public reaction to her confession was swift and harsh, leaving people appalled by her actions. Some even went as far as to label her a predator, adding to the intensity of the backlash. The moment when Will Smith cried became an internet sensation, with his image turned into countless memes. On Twitter, Jada Smith faced swift and widespread cancellation, now finding herself among the celebrities with severely tarnished reputations. One person wrote, "This woman literally just destroyed this man's entire manhood with, 'I just wanted to feel good. It's been so long since I felt good and it just feels good to appeal somebody. RIP Will, you guys had a long run." Evidence suggests that Jada has a strong inclination towards maintaining control in her life. She tends to react strongly when she perceives a loss of control, as demonstrated when Will Smith surprised her with a birthday party. The couple is known for their openness about their relationship, and Jada herself herself disclosed in an interview that she was not entirely pleased with the surprise birthday party that Will had organized for her.
Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash.
She even mentioned that it had taken him 3 years to plan that birthday celebration. It might seem unusual to express any form of ungratefulness on live television. Will had been genuinely enthusiastic about creating a special and memorable birthday for Jada as she was turning 40. Unfortunately, it did not unfold as expected. In an interview, Will candidly discussed that particular birthday and disclosed that it marked one of the lowest points in his life.
I just wanted to have intimate time.
Just intimate time. And I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday.
People suggest that the way Jada reacted to the dedication and 3 years of hard work that Will put into her birthday surprise not only hurt him deeply, but also saddened those who witnessed it. Her response seemed to undermine the love and effort he had poured into making the celebration special. Jada herself has openly acknowledged on multiple occasions that this incident was a pivotal moment that significantly altered their relationship, often referring to it as the turning point in their journey together.
It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love.
For Jada's 40th birthday, Will went above and beyond, hiring a dedicated team to plan an extravagant celebration and create a documentary that would help her discover her ancestral roots. However, Jada's response was far from what she had anticipated. She expressed to Will that this elaborate party was nothing more than a grandiose display of his ego. These words deeply wounded Will, leaving him in a state from which he found it incredibly difficult to recover emotionally.
She's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
And now people are suggesting that Jada was behind what happened at the Oscars of 2022. Will Smith's reputation took a significant hit when he slapped comedian Chris Rock at a public event due to a joke about Jada. However, many observers were quick to point out that Jada may have played a role in influencing Will's reaction. When Chris Rock made an inappropriate joke about Jada's baldness, even Will initially laughed for a couple of seconds. This suggests that Will found some humor in the joke before the situation escalated.
I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
Certainly, as soon as Will Smith glanced at Jada, his demeanor shifted noticeably. Jada, too, appeared far from pleased, with many believing they exchanged intense, angry glances. In response, Will swiftly made his way to the stage, seemingly driven by a protective instinct to defend her honor.
Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow.
This incident has created a deep division within Hollywood, with individuals aligning themselves with either the camp supporting Will Smith or those backing Chris Rock. Regardless of the opinions expressed, it's undeniable that this event has drastically altered Will Smith's previously pristine public image. Additionally, he faced repercussions for his actions, receiving a 10-year ban from the Oscars shortly after winning such a prestigious award. It's worth noting that Jada's apparent smile immediately after Will slapped Chris was captured on camera, adding another layer of complexity to the situation.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm going to, okay?
In the aftermath of the incident, Jada became a prominent figure on the internet and publicly asserted that she didn't need protection and that Will's actions were wrong. This turn of events was particularly striking given the considerable effort Will had put into impressing Jada, going above and beyond to celebrate her and make her feel special. Her statement seemed to isolate him further, casting a shadow on the lengths he had gone to in order to please her. Jada made a strong statement by emphasizing the prestige of the Oscars and the inappropriateness of violence at such a high-profile event. She suggested that Will had projected his insecurities onto the stage, asserting that she didn't require any form of rescue. Although Will Smith publicly apologized to Chris Rock, effectively diffusing the situation, Jada's decision to comment on the issue while seemingly distancing herself from her husband likely left Will feeling deeply unsettled and perhaps even hurt by the turn of events.
We need them both, and we all actually need one another more than ever.
These are just a few of the incidents that have garnered public attention, but their life together seems to be filled with moments of public embarrassment for both of them.